So kyphosis is a spinal condition. In people with kyphosis, their spine curves outward more than it should. As a result, their upper back looks overly rounded. The curvature can make people look hunched, like having a hunched back, or as if they're slouching. People sometimes call it hunchback or round back. Your spine has natural curves, and these curves support the posture. That's your posture and help you stand straight. But excessive curvature can affect posture and make standing difficult. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Living African Podcast. Today I have a very special guest and a very special friend as well. So on August 3rd, 2023, I came across a post on LinkedIn, and that was by a random person I had never met. And how I came about that post was because someone in my network actually commented on that post. It showed up on my timeline and I read about it. It was about a very special person who is now a very good friend of mine. And he has a very amazing and touching story, which we're going to talk about today. What really caught me about that post is that despite everything that he went through and despite his condition, he succeeded in graduating with a bachelor's of library and information science. And that was just very amazing. I had to reach out to Ruth, who actually was the one who posted this. I'd never met Ruth, never spoken to her. I sent her a message and she gladly responded. That was the start of this amazing relationship. So thank you so much, Abel, for coming here today. And you are all the way in Kenya. And I am super honored to have you here. So I really look forward to sharing your story with the rest of the world about how much of an overcomer you are. So can you just introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you so much for this chance. My name is Abel Kirwa. The other name is Kipleting.
Okay.
We have three names. So my other name, my official name is Abel Kirwa. I was born in 27 years ago, 1996, here in Kenya, a place called Nandi County, in a village. I'm a village boy, so my village is called Kamonjil. It may be hard, but yeah, that's where I was born.
Okay. Is that where you stay now?
Yeah, that's where I stay. I'm in Kamonjil village right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, let's talk about, your story of from when you were born. What do you have to tell us about that?
I was born just like any other boy. Started school, grew up in a family of I have 4 siblings, 3 boys. They are men now. Yeah, I have 3 boys. We have 3 boys and 1 girl, a total of 5.
Yes.
I was born, then I went to normal primary school in class 1 in 2003 and did my, we call here primary education certificate examination in 2010. During my studies, I was a bit weak. I had low immunity, but it had not been discovered what was going on in my, let me call it my body. So when I was in class 4, that's grade 4 in US. I think they are the same as grade 4. I was diagnosed with kyphosis, whereby my spine were a bit twisted and curved, and which made me to have a bit of curved chest and also at the back. I continued my studies so well. It was no issue. There were no pain, but my immunity was a bit low when I was growing up. But after my secondary education, it was a bit challenging, and my life turned into a different route. Let me call it that way. Because I started using the wheelchair because I couldn't walk anymore. My parents took me to hospital, trying all they can so that I can regain my feet, but it couldn't happen. I lost the sensation from waist downwards after the surgery that was done in February.
Uh-huh.
During that surgery, my spine had become very weak. They had to put some implants. So after that, uh, in June the same year, one implant protruded through the skin. Yeah. So they had to redo it again and remove the one that had protruded.
And that was in your spine? Through your
Yeah, in my spine. Yeah.
Okay.
I continued with medication until October 2015, is whereby one of my legs, the left leg, broke due to osteoporosis. Since I was just sitting down and my immunity was down, the weak started to become a bit weak and fragile.
Yeah.
So the doctors advised that they couldn't put a metal to connect the broken leg. So I had to be amputated. The upper half my thigh. They had to be yeah. That's how I lost my leg, and have been on wheelchair since then until now. So in 2015 September, I was supposed to join. I had been placed to an university in Rift Valley called Kabianga University.
Yeah.
But since I was still sick, I couldn't join. I had to defer twice. In 2016, I deferred first in 2015 to 2016. When it reached 2016 September, I was not doing well in my health-wise. Again, I had to defer again to 2017. So I was allowed to defer only twice. If I would miss 2017, my chance would be given to someone else. So in 2017, my parents I felt I was a bit stronger, though I was still on wheelchair and still paralyzed. I'm still paralyzed up to now. So they had to look for a university that was flexible for me, that I could study from home, online studies. That's where I started my university education, and it was seamless. I had no problem, though I was a bit sick, the normal one, because sometimes I would fall sick during examination, but it's normal to be sick. Luckily, I was able to complete last year in December and graduated in July 2023.
Great. Thank you so much. That's such an amazing and empowering story, and also that's a very heartbreaking story as well, to see how your life changed. Now, actually, I don't remember ever really hearing about kyphosis. So when I first had a conversation with you, I had to do some research, and I'm very sure that a majority of us, especially in our African community, we probably don't know about this disease because it's not as common, as the regular infectious diseases that we have back then. So I did some research, and I really wanted to read out a few things about kyphosis just to give people an idea. First of all, kyphosis is spelled Kyphosis. It's actually a spinal condition. This is according to the Cleveland Clinic. So kyphosis is a spinal condition. In people with kyphosis, their spine curves outward more than it should. As a result, their upper back looks overly rounded. The curvature can make people look hunched, like having a hunched back, or as if they're slouching. People sometimes call it hunchback or round back. Your spine has natural curves, and these curves support the posture. That's your posture, and help you stand straight. But excessive curvature can affect posture and make standing difficult. I also wanted to give the risk factors, not necessarily risk factors, but basically who can actually get kyphosis. So kyphosis, especially the postural kyphosis, which basically is the one I described, appears more often in teenagers whose bones are growing rapidly, but it can develop in anyone. It may also develop in older adults. As people age, the vertebrae lose flexibility and their spine may begin to tilt forward. You can also be born with the condition. Hopefully, that is a clearer picture of what this disease is. Now, let's go
It is.
back to your birth. And you said you were born like any other child. So, were
Yeah.
there, apart from the fact, did they ever know why your immune system was low to begin with? And also, apart from the fact that you were eventually diagnosed with kyphosis, did you see any changes in your posture, or were you born with a slightly hunched back, or like, was this a slow process? Was this a slow progression towards that
Yeah.
diagnosis of kyphosis?
Yeah, it was a slow trend. When I was born normal, there were no hunchback. Right back when I was born until when I was in grade 4. That's 2006. That I
That was
visited.
10 years old.
Yeah, I was 10 years old
Mm-hmm.
when I visited. Since I had low immunity, my parents took me to an health clinic. There was an health clinic of some Europeans, and they were coming here, here in the rural area. So my parents took me there, expecting that they would be told why my immunity is low. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was there, one of the doctors, the medical, they were in the medical, advised us that I had kyphosis. So they referred me us to the orthopedic hospital, and that's where I was told it's called Kijabe Mission Hospital. That's where they advised us they would do some surgeries, but it was a bit risky at that time. So no surgery was done, and I continued with the multivitamins, calcium, drugs as I grew up. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine because your bones were still young. I mean, at 10 years old, you're not fully grown. Your bones are still growing. Actually, during your adolescent years, that's when your bones really grow very fast. So I would
Yeah.
only imagine doing a corrective surgery at that age could definitely be a high risk. How was life like in those first 10 years of your life? Apart from, going through the immunity, like how was your life? I really want us to shed more light as well on how normal your life was and the things you liked doing. How was your life like back then?
My life was just like any other boy, young boy. Though I was a bit weak, I could not participate in football match of kids. I could not run so fast. My mother, even when we were going to school, she used to carry me up to school, not like any other student that they can walk
Mm-hmm.
up to the school. Since here we don't have at that time we had no school buses. Yeah, my mother used to carry me because I was a bit weak. But in school I was good. I was performing well.
Yeah,
Usually I was top 5 in
top
all my
five.
examination. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you were definitely very smart, to be in the top
yeah.
five consistently. And what were the things that you liked doing as a young boy?
And mainly, if I can remember, I think I was just an introvert in by nature because of the strength that I couldn't have. I could
Mm-hmm.
sit somewhere, have maybe have some stories with my friends, but participating in co-curricular activities, I couldn't. Or maybe I was active peer too in the church, the Sunday
Right,
school.
right. That's great. So
Yeah.
now you're 10 years old and you were diagnosed with kyphosis. And
Mm.
so break it down to when you eventually could not walk anymore, like you were paralyzed from waist down.
Mm.
What basically were the series of events that happened from that diagnosis to when it was just becoming worse and worse?
After the diagnosis, life continued normally. Only that I was all vitamins and minerals supplements on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And life was normal. I did the exams like any other student, any other pupil in primary school. I joined normal high school. Life was normal until the last year now, when the last year of my secondary education, that's where I was now 18. When
Mm-hmm.
during my 18th, after my 18th birthday, things started changing. Because I remember by July 2015, I used to feel my leg a bit numb,
Mm.
while the left leg. During the morning hours when I'm waking up, my legs are a bit numb, uh, up to around 8 a.m., 9 a.m. there. Now I could walk normal. But as the days goes by December, they now had to massage my leg in the morning. Yeah, then during the December holiday, I couldn't walk. I now I started using a stick
Yeah.
to walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Support myself.
Practice, yeah.
Something like a crutches, a
Mm-hmm.
crutch.
So, like, did they tell you why? I mean, I just want you to say it based on your experience, even though I may know. But did they tell you exactly why your legs were getting numb? Did they say it was like,
I was told
yeah, and why was that?
the reason was the nerves started being to be compressed by the curvature of the spine.
Yes.
Yeah,
And by the time you were 18, was there like that? Is that when they started doing the corrective surgeries?
I was 18 in 2014. Yeah,
14. Yeah, 14.
then in 2015 February. That's why I still remember that was on 28th of February. That's now I went to the theater room and they did some surgery and they put some implants to support the spine. At that time, I could not walk. Even when I was moving to the theater, I was on a wheelchair already.
So, like, after that surgery, did you feel better? Like, could you maybe at least feel your legs a little bit? Like, was there any progress?
No, there was no progress in the sensation, but there were no pain anymore on my spine. The
Okay.
compress, the compression that used to give me a lot of pain and tiredness on my
Mhm.
spine it left.
And within those teenage years, how did that affect your quality of life?
It really affected me even psychologically since
Yeah.
my when I was approaching 18, that's where I knew now my life is starting.
Yeah.
I'm starting my career, maybe even dating, maybe and many more. I'm
Yeah.
starting my youth life. I'm
Yeah.
starting to
Yeah.
enjoy my youth life, but it's unfortunately all of them had to be compromised.
Taken away from you. I can only
Yeah.
imagine. And did that affect your studies like during your teenage years? Because, I mean, you were very smart. Like, did all of these issues affect you like academically?
Luckily, I can say it didn't, since I became more sickly after I had finished my secondary education. So maybe the only thing that affected me is postponing my university education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but through my positive nature, I had to go back to school.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's take a moment to highlight that positive nature. I feel like we have to do that every time, um, every couple of moments in this episode. How
Certainly.
did all of this affect your mental health? And how did you pull yourself back to encourage yourself to just keep pushing, especially in your teenage years, knowing that you were missing out on so much and really being excited to start your life, but then everything is snatched right away from you?
It was a bit difficult, but yeah, so my siblings and my parents really supported me. I had no issue with depression or what. Maybe only during the amputation. That's where I was a bit. I didn't accept.
Yeah.
Losing my leg was a bit tough. Was a bit. I couldn't agree.
Yeah.
And the hospital had to look for a counselor, and they did some counseling for me for around a week. Fortunately, I accepted, and life has moved on.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, we're at the point where you started losing your legs and then you had surgery. And then after that, how when you said the metal actually protruded from your skin, I was just mind blown. Like, how did that happen? Like, was it like just sudden, or was it like a progressive thing? And how did that make things worse?
And after the first surgery in February, the skin was a bit since the skin was a bit tight because of the already curvature of the spine and the and,
Yes.
and the chest. The skin was a bit thin. So when they added the implants at the back, one of them it protruded.
So
Yeah.
when they did the implants, right, were they trying to straighten your back, or were they just trying to relieve the discs from compressing your nerve and the pain?
I think the main reason they had to put in place was to support my spine from
Yes.
and support it and relieve the pain from me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I really found any like treatment for kyphosis other than maybe managing the pain, or at least even doing the surgery, like you said, because it makes me wonder if there's actually a complete treatment where the back can be straightened like forever and given that support.
Out of my curiosity, I've tried the Google by googling stuff, but I think that what I came out of it is that it's it's a bit difficult to correct it. Maybe
Yes.
maybe in the advanced level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I probably will have to get like a orthopedic surgeon or somebody, a bone doctor, to come on and like really give us more insight on this, because I remember growing up, you seeing people that have hunches, and we never really understood. We just thought, hey, we a lot of us attributed that to old age, like the people hunching and stuff like that. But this is definitely something that I would say is also prominent in our community, but people just don't know about it, So I'm really hoping that shedding light about this issue will really give people perspective and make them want to do research to know more about this disease. After that metal protruded, you had to go in for another surgery, right?
The second surgery that I went, they had to remove the screw that was protruding.
Okay, so they removed it. Did they replace it with something else, or did they, like, how was the outcome? How did that help you? Like, did you start feeling pain all over again?
When it protruded, it became a wound. Yeah, so they had to remove it and close there. So
Okay.
the only change that came by is the wound. There were no wound anymore.
Yeah, but did they like, so whatever protruded, is it what that was what was supporting your spine, right?
Yeah, my spine, they implanted around 12 screws
Oh, okay, okay,
from up to downwards.
okay, that makes sense.
So they only removed one.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking whether they replaced it, because I thought it was just one screw that they had put in there and stuff. So,
The 12th number.
right. And did you feel pain after that? Like, in terms of, did the pain come back, or it was insignificant?
Yeah, there were no pain. There were no
Okay.
pain. Yeah.
All right. And at this point,
It's only that the main reason for the surgery was the wound, so that it may not
yeah,
bring other problems.
infections and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so by this time, again, just to make sure, you were already in the wheelchair, like you said, and so you were paralyzed from waist down. The diagnosis of osteoporosis, Was that something that just happened, or it was also like a slow process? Because I mean, osteoporosis is, from my own knowledge, is typically not sudden, right? So was it like a complication from like every other thing that you were going through? Because funny enough, I actually did some slight research on kyphosis, and I saw that one of the risk factors are osteoporosis.
So it happened suddenly. I can't say that it was discovered. I was in bed and I think my leg just broke.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I was taken to hospital, that the same night, they told us your leg. They did some scanning, the CT scan, the X-rays, and they told me that the leg broke due to osteoporosis.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. And so, how has the amputation actually affected your quality of life?
It has affected me in so I can say so many ways, and mainly people stare at you having one leg, and it's a bit uncomfortable for me. Even
Mhm.
going to the public, even before after the amputation, I couldn't accept myself fully that I lost my leg. I used to cover myself with a we call it here a lasso.
Mhm.
So I had to cover myself so that it cannot be seen that I had only one leg. But
Yeah.
after some times, up to around 2020, that's where I now started wearing only my trouser, and people could see I had fully accepted myself now.
Yeah.
Mm.
What were you taking to help with your immune system? Because I believe your immune system has still been low, right?
Yeah, it has been low, but after the surgery, I can see it was a bit positive. I've not been so sick than before the surgeries, which
Right.
is I can feel it's a positive thing.
Right. When you were sickly, like what are the common health issues that you used to have?
Mainly here we have malaria being the main issue, the
Mhm.
main problem.
Mhm.
In my region, we have malaria, and I used to have tonsillitis every
Yeah.
now and then. Yeah,
Mhm.
tonsillitis was a bit, it used to be a huge problem to me. And
Mhm.
also, let me remember, I'll tell you when it has come to my mind.
Right, right. Thank you
Mm.
so much. So through all of these experiences, right? I know you mentioned, your family had been very supportive, and thank God
Mm.
for them, and thank them for really taking care of you. But like how did it feel like depending on your family and your siblings 100% for things that you used to do by yourself? And also, how did that change your entire schedule? Like how has that also affected them?
It has affected, for me, being depending on someone else. Uh, Yet I used to be independent
Yeah.
was a bit weird for the first time. It was a bit weird first in hospital, being birthed by the nurses.
Mhm.
Yeah, it started from the hospital. The reality came in when nurses used to birth me until I had to ask my brother to be the one birthing me.
Mhm.
Since I was a bit comfortable, my brother birthing me than
Mhm.
the nurses. Yeah, so I tradition like that until it became normal. So my schedule had to change. I had to be bathing every early in the morning before doing anything else. Yeah,
Mhm.
and another one, maybe being ready, always being smart. Since I used to have visitors coming and visiting me here at home. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those are the main things that change. And
Wow.
maybe they're using public transport again. It was a bit too difficult since here in Kenya they are not wheelchair accessible. So
Yes.
we had to even going for checkups. We had to start even looking for other means like hiring a taxi.
Yes, yes. And that's
Yeah,
definitely
which
expensive, like,
yeah,
because I know growing
it
back.
comes with a cost. I always say disability is expensive.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot of cost.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, yeah,
Normally, if you weren't disabled or if you didn't go through what you went through, you can literally enter a taxi with anybody else. But now you have to hire a whole taxi for yourself, and the driver has to be patient, helping you
yeah.
in and things like that. So I can only imagine it's definitely not cheap, especially back home. So how did this experience affect your social life with respect to like your friends, you know?
It changed a bit. I think I lost some friends. I can't say that all of them have been stood by me until now. I think some of them left, but I have new friends right now. Yeah, and also I couldn't attend like parties if there is one, but
Yeah.
parties. Yeah, because I'm always indoors. Even my social life has really changed. I like being indoors.
Right. Let's go on to your university experience, which, of course, that's actually what led to us connecting, right? You were chosen to start your education at the Kenyatta University. I really want to give a shout
Yes.
out to them. I never really heard about that university before, but definitely they're doing something right. So I really want to give a
Yeah,
shout out to Kenyatta University in Kenya. Is that Nairobi?
yeah, in Nairobi.
In Nairobi, and you were taking the classes remotely, right? But I believe you had told me
Yeah,
that they required you to take the exams. You can take the classes remotely, but you have to take the exams in person.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and how is that? How far away is your village from Nairobi?
My village to Nairobi is around 300 kilometers, but they did something that's amazing. It wasn't a must for me to go to main campus,
Oh, okay.
so I could just pop into any during examination, go to the nearest satellite campus, I do my exam, and come back home. So
Okay.
there is one in a city called Nakuru.
And how far away is that?
So
In terms of how
it's
long does it
around
take
that's
to go?
150 kilometers, around 3 hours drive.
Wow.
Which was a bit flexible for me. I could go there, book a room somewhere for the 5 days during the examination, do my exam. I used to be accompanied by my two brothers
Yeah.
who would assist me. Yeah, until I finished. That was the routine every semester.
Right. Wow, I want to give a
Yeah,
shout out to your family. They've really stood by you and really supported you. They have greatly contributed to your success, because that's
sure, sure.
definitely not an easy task to do, especially when they also have their own lives. They have their own, probably they have their own education and they have their own things that they're
Yeah,
also doing, and they have to sacrifice all of that to make sure that you're also successful. I feel like
sure, sure,
we all
sure.
need family like that. So that's such a great thing. I really want to give a shout out to them. And driving 3 hours just to take an exam, that's just unheard of. It just goes to show that nothing can stop us, not even our situation, right? Because you have every right to just sit in your situation and lament and be discouraged, but you just kept fighting. You are sacrificing your time, even your health, even your quality of life to make sure that you have a good education. And that's definitely something that's very empowering. So thank you so much for that as well. How was it during the whole time in university from 2017 to 2023? Like what, especially during COVID as well, what challenges did you experience in school or at home, especially during the pandemic?
The pandemic was let me say, all of us faced COVID in a negative way. It impacted
Yeah.
us in the negative way.
Uh-huh.
And the university, since we had a lockdown, we couldn't proceed with our education. Even the online, even as we were studying online, we had to stop for the whole year, the 2020. But around November, we went back for the exam.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you cope during the COVID season, just in general, not necessarily in school? Like, how was it for you? Because I'm thinking, especially with your immune system and everything, it must have been really nerve-wracking for you.
It was a bit difficult for me since I couldn't I couldn't move out completely. My
Yeah.
the family at the end agreed that I should not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly went to church. Even when we were going to checkups, we used to schedule the doctor at what time he might be free
Uh-huh.
when people were not many at the hospital. So we used to go to our checkups maybe at around 8 p.m. in the evening.
Wow.
Yeah, or 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
Wow. And how was it when you were trying to complete your degree in school? Like, did you have friends and colleagues or classmates that supported you? Like, how was it studying? Were you always meeting up, or at least were you having people that were in your field that, were studying with you together and encouraging one another?
Yeah, we graduated with around th- those who we were in lecture school. In my class, we were around 8, which they really supported me in so many ways. They used to, if there is any assignment that I've not seen it online, they would send to me.
Uh-huh.
And even in the school where we are going to the examination room, they used to push my wheelchair to the
Wow.
to the room and adjust the seats for me. And even after the exam, one of them would offer to push me out of the class,
Yeah.
the exam room.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. That just put a smile on my face. It just goes to show that we all have some sense of humanity in us to help one another. Now, how did it feel to graduate?
Like being in the graduation list was amazing. Not even the graduation itself. It started from being in the graduation list.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a big celebration to me, and
Yes.
I really thank God.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Did you go to the
To the commencement ceremony, and did you like go across the stage?
Yeah, I went. I went
Oh.
to the graduation square. Yeah, we call
Oh,
graduation square.
Yes. I'm sure
Yeah,
everyone
and
stood up and was applauding for you.
sure, it was a big celebration. Even when I was coming out, everyone wanted to greet or to drop my hand.
I know. That's so nice. That's so nice. Oh, I
Yeah,
should have. I'm almost emotional. I can only imagine like how it was.
it was so big for me. Even when I, even in the social media, I trended the whole Kenya.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Ah,
Yeah,
that's
it
so
was
nice.
so that's where now I knew that, hey, so I have done something so big. I didn't, because I thought I'm just graduating like any other student,
Yes, yes,
but
yes.
I'm humble.
Yes, yes. That's I
Yeah.
mean, that is such just that is such a life lesson, honestly. I mean, if
Yeah.
anybody complains about their life after hopefully listening to this podcast or even watching you graduate, I'm not trying to disregard things that people are going through, but I'm just trying to pass a message that it is possible. No matter what, it is possible.
It
Because
is.
you've been through so much. I mean, you weren't even born like this. You've been through all of these experiences which were definitely horrifying. A normal person or any other person could probably not even see any reason as to why they should continue their life because it's just so much that has happened, so many changes. Just when you're at the peak of your life, about to start your life, it's just snatched right up from you. And so many people will just sit and lament for years and years, but you did not let that, get in the way of your success. And here we are. I am super, super, super grateful for that. And I'm really proud of you, actually.
Thank you, thank you.
So let's switch gears a little bit. We're going to come back to this. But right now, let's talk about some of the challenges that you're facing right now. Basically, the challenges that have resulted from all of these experiences, because I really want to give a spotlight on those, not because I only want to talk about challenges, but I really want to get people to understand that regardless of your success, you're still going through stuff and you still have needs that need to be fulfilled, if not on a daily basis. And I really want to mobilize my listeners and mobilize my family, mobilize my friends to come out and support you in one way or the other. I think we're going to actually create a GoFundMe link where we can just pour that love to you financially or in any other means, just to support you, because regardless of everything that you're going through, there's still things that need to be done, right? So let's talk about those. I know you're telling me, and I know from talking to you, I have realized that you're not comfortable talking about, I don't think you're the one to ask for help, So I'm going to put you on the spotlight because it's very important and it's very necessary. There's still that faith in humanity. And I hope that we can all mobilize ourselves to support you, because you deserve it. You more than deserve it. Now, what are the needs? I know you had spoken about your wheelchair, which is your main source of mobilization, was actually bad. That's the electric one. So now you're using a manual wheelchair. And for someone who cannot walk and you're using your hands for everything, I'm sure it could also be exhausting on your hands. So an electric wheelchair will make your life way easier and will enable you to even do more things than the manual wheelchair, correct?
Thank you so much. As I said, the disability comes with a cost.
Yeah.
It really comes with a huge cost, from even managing daily routines, because your life changes completely.
Yeah.
So the main challenges that I'm facing right now is, as you said, is the mobility. Right now, I'm hoping that in future, maybe not in future, but in a few months, maybe I'll get a job. I don't have a good wheelchair that can help me move around.
Yeah.
So right now I'm using when I was joining the campus, someone helped me to get an electric wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for not in campus, not beginning when I was beginning, but around the third year.
Mm-hmm. The third year.
The second year. That's 2019. Somebody helped me, and I've been using that wheelchair until December last year.
Okay, so the wheelchair got torn.
Yeah, it was spoiled, and I had to go back to the manual one.
Okay. So right now, one of the primary needs that you have is an electric wheelchair.
Yeah, the main need right now is an electric wheelchair, and maybe the daily consumables like the catheters, the urine bags.
Yeah. I know you said, you also needed diapers since, of course, if you are paraplegic or paralyzed from your waist down, you have no control over, your bowels and things like that. So those are like the daily needs. I believe you'd mentioned diapers, and then you frequently use catheters as well. Oh yeah, and obviously since you're not as mobile, you're basically stationary for the most part or sedentary, you have bed sores. So those are things that we always have to get medications, and you have to get the wound care, which obviously costs, some sort of money, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we're definitely going to see how we can mobilize, and hopefully I would also plead with the audience, please, if there's any way that you can support my dear friend Abel, we will definitely appreciate it. Now, is there anything you wanted to say?
Oh, I will really just say that any help will be really appreciated. I'll just say God bless.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank everyone else in advance. Let's talk about the future, because I'm super excited about your future. I really, really, really believe that great things are about to happen to you. I don't know when or how, but I strongly believe that this is just the beginning of great things happening to you. When I saw that LinkedIn post, it had over 30,000 people that reacted to it on LinkedIn. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because I strongly believe that just like me who reached out, I'm sure many other people will, or at least have reached out as well. And I want to know, like, what are your future aspirations? What do you want to do in the future?
My future is, I'm really looking forward to a great future.
Yes.
Right now, I really wish to be independent, especially financially. I need
Yes.
to, yeah. So I really hope soon or soon, maybe I'll get a job where I
Yes.
can make my own earning, and
Yes.
yeah, it will be so good for me to at least get a job.
Yeah, get that independence, that financial
Yeah,
independence.
yeah. Another one maybe in future, God willing, maybe I'll start a family.
Oh, nice. Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
God
I look
willing.
forward to that. Yes. So, what are the fields? What are the professional fields that, like, the job opportunities that you're looking into based off of the degree that you had? Just in case someone
Uh,
else looking to hire you, like, what kind of job opportunities are you looking for?
it's really weird to say that I studied a Bachelor of Library Information Science, but my major is in records management. So I
Records
can work,
management. Okay.
yeah, records management. I can work in a registry, and in a registry where I can manage your records and all things of attending records. I can do them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I need to, when you say registry, like, what kind of registry?
a registry like an maybe an information center,
Okay.
maybe a government offices that
Okay.
an establishment that has a registry,
Okay. Okay.
or any that, or even I can be a database. I can do the database management.
Okay. Because I'm trying to
Yeah,
see, I'm very sure most of the stuff that you'll be doing will probably be remote, at least until we get our electric chair that can help you mobilize to and from work.
yeah.
But I'm also thinking, maybe you can even have international jobs. Someone somewhere can give you a job opportunity.
In remote jobs, I have some skills in data entry. I can
Data
enter
entry, yeah?
data.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah.
good. So if anyone is listening, Abel is looking for a job and he definitely will be good. He used to be top 5 in his class, by the way. So that just goes to show you your tenacity, your zeal, your drive. And, I just wish you all the best, Abel. I'm rooting for you, obviously. I'm super honored to have you as a friend. And of course, I'm always going to be here rooting for you and supporting you. It's been super, super, super amazing just having this conversation with you. It's been just mind blowing. I'm always inspired. And what do you have to say to our audience before we go? What words of advice do you have to say to them?
Uh, Thank you for this opportunity that you've given me. I've never participated in a podcast, and it's my first time. And
Yay.
really, thank you.
Thank you.
You really made me feel appreciated and I
Yes.
can be interviewed. Yeah. So
Yes.
what I have that I can share with the audience. I have like I written somewhere here. Allow me to
Sure.
the first thing that I can share with the audience is that let's accept life as it is. Let's live a day by a day as itself. Live to
Yes.
yeah. Any challenge that comes today, accept it and let it be a lesson. Another advice I can give them is that always have a clear vision, direction,
Yes.
and motivate yourself.
Always have a clear vision.
Yeah, no one can be there for you. That you are not. You be first. Be there for yourself first. Then others
Yes.
can come to help you.
Yes.
Yeah. Another
Well,
one is the last one is be persistent in life. Persistence is key to success. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that was so nice. Thank you. That was so nice and encouraging. And I hope that this episode actually touches a lot of people. I hope people really look into their lives and look at how blessed they are, because I have done that so many times. I hope we can all stop complaining and start acting. I hope that we can not beat ourselves down, but actually empower ourselves, encourage ourselves, And I also hope that this conversation does not end here. Let's take this conversation. Let's take the topic of kyphosis. Let's do research. Let's talk about it. Let's reach out to people that we may or may not know who may be going through one thing or the other. Let's just keep this conversation going and always be willing to empower and encourage one another to see each other succeed. Okay? Abel, one last thing. How can people reach out to you if they want to support you directly, or if they want to just give you words of encouragement?
They can reach me on all social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on Twitter.
Okay. And you're on LinkedIn as well. Is it on the
on
Abel?
LinkedIn,
Abel, is it
Abel Kirwa.
Kirwa?
Kirwa.
And then Kirwa is
Kirwa is KIRWA.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this, Abel. And it has been such an empowering and encouraging and motivating conversation with you. You just exude so much peace, so much grace, and I really appreciate that. It's been very easy and great speaking with you. Okay, I will catch the audience in the next episode, but I will definitely keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later then.
Thank you.
Bye. So I just had the most empowering conversation. One of the most empowering conversations that I've actually had in a very long time. And I really hope that you guys learn one or two things from this conversation. I actually have never met Abel, by the way. And I first communicated with him, I believe, August 3rd or August 4th, because I saw this random post on LinkedIn from Kenya. And it was celebrating this kid, Abel Kirwa, who, despite his condition, this kid is paralyzed from the waist down. He's in a wheelchair. He has kyphosis, which is a bone disease of the spine, where your back is hunched and your chest is protruded. He has one leg amputation right up from the thigh. And he graduated with a bachelor's in library and information sciences. I was just mind blown. My mind was just blown. I didn't even worry about any problems I had anymore, because why? This is someone who beat all the odds. Everything was against him. And mind you, he did not even grow up like that. Like, he wasn't born like that. This is something that happened to him during his prime years, during his teenage years. I just could not complain about anything that I was going through. I just had to reach out to this kid, and I reached out to him. He exuded so much grace, so much poise, so much positive energy. And I mean, every single time I communicated with him, I was just like, why am I complaining? Like, why? Why am I complaining? I mean, I'm just having chills, because I really wish that we could all have the chance to look at life from the eyes of Abel. And I hope that this podcast episode will actually shed more light on his outlook on life and how we should all think about life when life throws us a lemon. Let's take those lemons and make a good old lemonade. Personally, I have learned to accept life for what it is. Life is not perfect. Things will never go as we planned. I mean, Abel was 18 years old when his leg had to get amputated and he was paralyzed. He was just about to start his life, his adulthood, and it was taken away from him. I have just learned to go with the flow. It may be hurtful, it may pain, but I'm learning to accept things as they come. I'm learning to take life one step at a time, take life easy, and not really fret over anything, because no matter what happens, no matter what you do, things will still go according to plan. And there's this passage from Romans 8:28 from the Holy Bible, and I always go back to it, that all things work together for my good. That's what I tell myself every single time. Every single thing happening right now to you had been orchestrated for your life, had been orchestrated as part of the order in which your life was going to follow from birth, right before you were born, actually. So this that's happening now is just part of your story. But look at the bright side, because everything will work for your good. Trust and believe that everything will work for your good. So that was just a reminder to me. And I felt like, sharing it with you guys and encouraging you that no matter what happens, it will work out for your good. Even if it's not how you want it to be, but just stay hopeful and things will work out. Thank you.